Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy So What Day. I hope you're having a great start to your week. And you know what? It's October. We are finally in the month of Halloween. And I know we've been talking a lot about Halloween projects, but I have a couple more for you today because I don't know about you, but I start decorating for Halloween on October 1st. At least I try to. So that's the plan for my house tonight. We're going to get out all the totes and tubs, go through all of our Halloween decor, and hopefully, start getting a little spooky vibe going around the house. So as you can see behind me, I have finished my Halloween Pinnacle Table Runner. I have to give myself a pat on the back for that one. And I'm going to be taking you through this a little bit today. But for those of you who joined our Floral Farmhouse Pinnacle Table Runner webcast, perhaps you purchased the Halloween version. And this is what I came up with. So we're going to go over how mine looks different from the Floral Farmhouse version because of how I arranged my blocks, quilted it a little bit differently as well. So I'm going to take you through that. I'm also going to show you how to create a really cool looking wreath for your front door that celebrates all things Halloween. And I'm going to show you how to jazz up, a very, very basic wreath. I'll even go so far as to call it a wreath blank because it's so very plain until we make it our own. So hopefully you get inspired to create some of these items using some great Sulky products. And as always, if you have questions, comments, be sure to put those in the live chat or in the comments below, and I will address them as we move forward. And if you are commenting, giving me those great emojis, somehow engaging with the post, like us on Facebook if you're watching there, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching there. And that's all you have to do to be automatically eligible to win today's gift from Sulky, which is our Halloween Potions Machine Embroidery Collection, valued at $34.99. This is actually the collection here. These are the freestanding patches that I used to decorate my wreath, which I'm going to show you. And you can use these for so many cute projects. I have a little smattering of ideas to share with you for that as well. So this is going to one lucky viewer who is watching and sharing and liking and doing all those great things. And you could win this great machine embroidery collection. Making patches in our embroidery machine is so fun. And we actually have a special edition pack of Sulky Twilly that goes along with this collection and with this machine embroidery palette. Twilly is a twill fabric that has like a little bit of stabilizer already attached to it. I have a piece of it right here so you can see. This is a piece of Twilly. It's very heavy weight, really, really great support for freestanding patches. That's what it's made for. So what we did was we curated a pack of colors that coordinate with those freestanding patch designs, and you use this as your base fabric. So see how it already has a little bit of stabilizer attached to it? That makes it so that with all these tons of needle penetrations and thread that we're throwing onto this background fabric, it can support all of that and stay nice and stable for us, so that then when you rinse away your stabilizer and you have this freestanding patch, it doesn't curl up on you or, get puckery or weird on the inside of the patch, right? Like where we're adding lettering and little design elements and things like that. So this is really cool stuff. You can grab up this specialty pack of Twilly and grab up the machine embroidery palette, and you will have all the thread you need, the Twilly fabric base that's really great for these designs, and you will get the entire design collection. It's 6 designs in 3 sizes. So you can make them for a 4x4 hoop, 5x7, or you can make them really big in a 6x10 hoop. So again, I'm going to show you these in action, give you some project ideas for them. super fun if you're creating a Halloween buffet. You can create little food labels and label them with bat breath and goblin goo and stuff like that. Really, really cute ideas. All right, so I'll get to that momentarily, but I didn't want to forget to tell you about the Twilly pack that is specifically curated for this collection. That's the only Twilly that we sell at sulky.com right now is for this collection. So you can try it out, see how you like it. I'm hoping that we add more colors very, very soon so that we can use these for all kinds of things. Freestanding appliques, patches, you get the idea. All right, so that's today's freebie from Sulky. Thank you very much, Sulky. And I wanted to see how many of you have ordered your fall mystery box. We launched this last week during our special bingo game here on So What, and I know a lot of you said you had it in your cart, it was on order, so I'm just curious to know who has gotten their mystery box and what are your thoughts so far and what are you liking the best out of your box and all of those things. So drop a line in the chat if you've received your mystery box. Let us know what you think about it. We still do have limited quantities available. So if you're interested in getting one of these mystery boxes, it is full of over $70 worth of stuff, and it's $49.99. Plus, you could be one of our golden ticket winners, which means when you open your box, there's a golden ticket inside worth $50 at sulky.com. So that would be like getting your mystery box for free. All right, so 5 people will win a golden ticket in their boxes. So be sure when you're opening up your box and looking through all the contents, make sure you don't toss aside any of the paperwork that comes with your box, because you could be tossing aside a golden ticket. All right, so let's see. Has anybody, Michelle says she's ordered it. Let's see, just got my mystery box. Loved it. Great. Let's see if anybody else have not ordered the box. You can still grab one. They are available for a limited time until they sell out. And these generally go really, really fast because of all of the value you find inside. Plus, what am I trying to say here? Plus, your box comes with tons of project ideas. You'll get some digital patterns and a bonus machine embroidery design when you buy up this fall mystery box. It has a cozy and comfy vibe, so do the projects, and they're going to be perfect makes for going into the fall season. So you're going to love the fabrics inside. You're going to love the threads and techniques and all of this that we built into this box. And it's super fun. You just never know what you're going to get. You open the box and it's like giving yourself a gift. It's a great little surprise. And I think it really gets your creative juices flowing, you know? You have no idea what to expect and you open this box and you can kind of go through all the contents and say, you know, oh, I've never tried this thread before, or, oh, I've always wanted to try this particular stabilizer, or, oh, look at all these cute little gifties that Sulky has given to me. So it's a really fun experience, and I think you'll really enjoy it. If you've never gotten a mystery box before, this is definitely one that you're not going to want to miss because the projects are so universal. They're so great. You're going to get a lot of use out of them. So without saying more and spoiling the mystery, I hope that kind of piques your interest and you go on over and check out our fall mystery box at sulky.com. All right. Lots of people saying hello. And hello from cool Kansas. I'm glad that the weather is starting to turn for some of you. And hopefully we're going to get out of these crazy heat waves and these devastating hurricanes, and I hope everybody is safe and sound and, you know, hunkering down in your sewing room and able to make something and, you know, kind of distract yourself from the crazy weather that's going on, if possible. So if you were affected by any of that weather or still are, our hearts really go out to you, and I hope you're able to be safe and, you know, have power and water and all those good things. It's just devastating what's been happening. All right. Let's see. Lots of people getting rain. cooling off a little bit. Hot and humid in some places still. Yep, I know that hurricane really did a number. All right, so mystery box aside, I also want to make sure everybody is registered for our ultimate phone case embroidery session. This is coming up on October 15th. So on October 15th, the lesson activates, and that means that all of the videos, all of the lessons, all of the ancillary materials, the design files, everything that you need to create an ultimate phone case will be available for viewing. So you want to register early, get your email in there so that when this is all available to view, you'll get an email saying the session is ready for you. It's an on-demand session. That means you can start it anytime that's convenient for you. You don't have to be there live. You don't have to, clear your entire schedule, because you can watch lesson 1 and then return back to the session when your time allows. It will remember where you left off. So when you log back in, you can start lesson 2 and so forth. You can also navigate however you want to. If you want to go straight to lesson 4 or whatever that one is, or if you want to create your cork key fob before you create your phone case so that you have some instant gratification and you can complete an in the hoop project, then you can go to your phone case when more time allows, you can go straight to the key fob lesson and complete that one. So with this session, with purchase of this session, you get tons of video tutorials that will take you through these projects from start to finish. And there are a ton of variations of phone cases to make. So I wanted to show you some of them here. First off, of course, we have a kit for this session as well. And this kit comes in 2 colorways. But with these 2 colorways, you can actually make 4 different phone cases. Actually more than that, because it really depends on the kind of strap you're going to make, or you can omit the strap. So there's tons of variations you can create from these 2 kits. So we've got our turquoise colorway and our red colorway. So from those, you can create a basic phone case. This is sized perfectly for your phone. So you'll get, I think, 7 or 8 sizes of this to make. So really, honestly, even if you have a small flip phone up to one of those super large phones, you will find the size that works for your phone. So this size, you can see, fits my phone. It's hard to show you this. Fits my phone perfectly. It slides right in there, and there's only a little bit of room left around it. So it's really a snug, protective phone case. Then on the back side, you have a little zipper pocket. All of this is done in the hoop of your embroidery machine. You have a little zipper pocket. You could put your ID, some cash, what have you. Then the front has a snap closure. You open it up and there is the pocket for your phone. So this is the basic case, no strap included. But what I really love is the adjustable strap, which we have made out of cork fabric. So it adds a little bit of a designer touch to it. I think cork, anytime you add a cork bottom or something like this to a tote, or a cork applique, or a cork flap, or a cork tassel, it just kind of gives it that designery feel, and it really kicks it up a notch, right? So this is the beautiful red cork, and not only have we added this as a strap, but you can remove the strap as well. So if you have your phone in this, but you need a larger tote, or you're going on vacation or something, you can take the strap off and just throw this in your larger tote, and then you have your protective phone case. You can even throw the strap in your luggage. That way you have options for when you're out and about. You can have your smaller phone case only, hanging by your, hanging crossbody style, or you can just have your protective phone case. So this is my favorite option. I've also made the strap adjustable. So it has a buckle slide on it, so you can adjust the strap and wear it where it is comfortable for you. So if you want to cinch it up a little bit, wear it a little tighter to your body, you can decide where you want to wear your phone case. I've made mine super duper long. You can also add another strip of cork because there is plenty of cork in the kit to do this. If you are taller or longer waisted and generally, wear things lower, maybe a little bit past your hip, you will want to add a third cork strip to this. This is made of 2 cork strips. So within the session, you'll get a video for how to work with cork fabric, how to make this strap, or how to make a wristlet strap version. So if you want just a smaller strap where you can just grab this and go, take the dogs for a walk, go, to the supermarket real quick, you can have just a wristlet strap. This one is always connected. It does not get removed, but this is another strap option for you. You can also choose to merge another design onto your flap and personalize your phone case. Video is included for that as well, for either using software to do this or using your machine screen to merge designs. You'll see videos for both versions. So lots of great information that you can apply to other techniques as well. So that is the red colorway. You can see it comes with this fabric and it also comes with this fabric. So you can choose which fabric to use for the exterior and which fabric to use for the lining. So that's why you have so many different options. So 3 options for strap, wristlet, or no strap, and then 2 options for your exterior. So you get the look that you want. All right. Now the turquoise version, I really can't decide which one I like better. This is the turquoise version that has the removable crossbody strap that's adjustable. It has this beautiful rose gold hardware that goes with this fabric print so beautifully. I just love how this turned out. This is the perfect color cork that matches perfectly. Then, again, you've got your zipper on the outside. It's all quilted in the hoop as well, fully lined, no exposed seams on the inside, and your cute little cam snap that closes everything. So you got a sneak peek of the lining fabric there. Then I made a version with that lining fabric as the exterior. So you can see you can go for this look if you prefer. And on this one, instead of a wristlet strap, I just put a little loop with one of the swivel clips, and then I attached my key ring to it. So this one has no strap, but it still has a way to clip it to the inside of a tote so it doesn't get lost. And this is the bonus cork key fob design that you will also get with purchase of the session. You can personalize it with whatever monogram you like or a small motif. Full instructions are included with video. So this is like an amazing, super comprehensive embroidery session. It's only $19.99, and I think all the designs and everything is valued at like $18 or something like that. So instead of just buying up these designs, buy up the whole session and you get all of the video tutorials, Q&A that goes directly to Sulky support. So if you are having trouble on any of the lesson pages, you can type in your question right on that page. We all get pinged that it's there and we can answer you appropriately. So if you haven't tried one of our sessions, you are absolutely going to love this one. Register today, grab up your kit. Once those kits are gone, they're gone. And they're only, I think, $39.99 for a kit. Crazy, crazy. And you know how expensive cork fabric can get? This includes just the cork fabric that you need for your key fob and then for the strap of your choice. So you don't have to go and buy minimums or a full yard of this, pretty cork fabric. You get just what you need for the project. So it keeps that cost down for you. So it's really, really great. Let's see, Linda says, can these be adjusted to make a matching eyeglass case? You know what I would do is choose the size that closely fits the size of your glasses, making sure to account for the depth, and make that size without the strap. And then you'll have this to fit your glasses. Because as I mentioned, you get 7 or 8 sizes of case files. So if your phone case fits in the largest size, but then your glasses are more, fit maybe the second smallest size, just make that smaller size for your glasses and you're good to go. I would suggest maybe adding the little loop or maybe even a smaller strap than the wristlet strap to that. And that way you can clip it onto your key fob, have your glasses clipped onto it. They don't get lost in your bag. So yes, that's a lot of sizes. Kathy says, surely one will fit eyeglasses. Absolutely. I also think there is a bonus largest size. So if you're familiar with Designs by Juju, who designed this ultimate phone case, you'll know that they've had this ultimate phone case on their website for a while, but it's been completely updated for this session, and we're including a bonus larger size to fit those really big smartphones. Because as you know, phones just get bigger and bigger and bigger. The screens are wider and all of that. So she included this bonus size that you can only get in this session for those people that have those larger screens, like even larger than mine. Mine is a 16 Pro Max, or is it a 14? It's a 14 Pro Max. And I think the bonus size fits that new 16 iPhone and the largest Samsung that's on the market. So yes, Barb, I agree. Designs by Juju is so addictive. They are just very thoughtful with their digitizing and with the process for these in the hoop projects. I will also mention when you grab up your kit, I'm looking around for this. You might also want to grab up a pack of sulky clear embroidery tape. I usually always have some of it next to me, but of course I can't find it when I need it. The clear embroidery tape, you're going to see that used on almost all of the videos, okay? And it's really important to use a great tape that isn't going to compromise any of the stitching that you've done. So if you tape a piece down, like a lining piece or your pocket piece or your flat piece, if you tape that down so that it doesn't shift in the hoop and you accidentally sew over it, the clear embroidery tape by Sulky is amazing because it tears super easily and cleanly along the stitching line. Whereas if you've ever used masking tape or painter's tape, sometimes people will use for those things, you'll know that you have to be super careful when you're tearing it away if you accidentally stitch over it, because it can pop those stitches. It can grab onto that stitching line and then you've compromised your seam. So the clear embroidery tape you'll see in all the videos, so you might want to just add that to your cart when you're grabbing up your kit so that you do have it on hand. And once you see the videos, you're going to be like, why didn't I just buy that clear embroidery tape when I had the chance, because now I have to wait for another shipment to come in, right? And also you might be looking to get to that free shipping, which at Sulky, all you have to do is spend $60 and you get free shipping. So you might want to add your clear embroidery tape and maybe some of the other things that I'm going to be talking about today so that you get to that free shipping and you get product instead of paying somebody to come to your door with your goodies. Okay, let's see. Where am I going to put my ultimate phone cases? I'm telling you, I need a second studio for everything that I'm showing you guys. Betsy says, pretty kit colors. Thank you. I know, I don't know how anybody's going to decide on the color that they choose because the fabrics are so fabulous. I believe the turquoise fabrics are from Riley Blake, I want to say. And the red fabrics are from Art Gallery Fabrics. So designer fabrics. They're relatively new fabric lines, and they're just so, so pretty. And at $39.99, you might just want to get both kits anyways. All right, Marilyn says, clear embroidery tape. I had no idea that is a thing. I know, it's really great because obviously it's clear, so you can see what you're doing. You can see what's going on underneath the tape. And it's reusable up to at least 3 times. So what I do when I'm working my way through an In the Hoop project is I will take the strips of tape that I'm using and just kind of put them on the side of my machine so that when I get to the next step and I've removed the tape, I can then go and reuse those pieces. So you get 2 rolls of tape in a pack for like $9.99. I can see it now. I'm going to bring it over so I can show it to you. You get 2 rolls of tape for $9.99, and a little goes a long way, really. So this is the clear embroidery tape, and see how easy it tears cleanly straight across. With your masking tape, you just have strings that come apart and everything. So you can also make these smaller, right? Really easily. Look how easy and cleanly that tears. So for example, when you are securing your little tabs to create the crossbody strap so that you have something to clip your swivel clips onto, you can make your tape a little bit thinner or narrower so that it doesn't get in the way of your stitching. But again, if you accidentally sew over a piece of it, you can just tear it really cleanly along the stitching line and you don't compromise any of your sewing. Again, reusable at least up to 3 times, unless you're working with like sulky felty or something that's really textured, because I find like some of the felty fuzz, for lack of a better word, will come off on the tape, and then it makes it a little bit harder to reuse it. But just this regular quilting cotton, it's a dream. You can use it probably throughout the whole project, maybe 6 or 8 pieces, and you're good to go. And you will use it for so many other things as well. So really great stuff, great to have on hand. All right. Colleen says, I couldn't decide on the colors, so I bought both. Will work great for gifts. So now you have to decide what fabric you're going to use for the exterior. So you have another conundrum on your hands with both kits, but I think you will enjoy. All right. Debbie says, tape looks great. I needed that tape last week. Darn. All right. Amy says, I use tape for all of my floating applique projects. Very clever. Yes, I think you all will enjoy. You should give it a try. All right, so enough about the Ultimate Phone Case. I hope that you will all register, grab up your kits so that you get the colorway that you want, first and foremost, but also grab them while they're on sale at $39.99 for sure. All right, let's see. So let's talk about our Halloween Pinnacle Table Runner first. Who joined us for the Floral Farmhouse Pinnacle Table Runner webcast we did a couple months ago? I think this was in August. This is a free webcast, and if you missed it, you can still go register for it for free. You can grab up the freebie that was given away during this webcast, and you can watch the entire webcast start to finish on demand at any time. So all you have to do is register for it. The event gets stored in your library at sewingonline.sulky.com, and then you can reference it over and over again whenever you need to, whenever you want to remake this, maybe out of a different fabric colorway, or, rearrange your blocks in different ways, or instead of making a table runner, maybe you want to make a placemat set or a larger quilt using the same blocks. So this is really great resource when you're over there adding the session for the Ultimate Phone Case to your library. You can also add this free webcast if you didn't join us back in August. So this was the Floral Farmhouse kit. Really pretty muted tones of fabrics. I'm going to use mine, I think, on my Thanksgiving table because it just kind of goes with a little bit of fall. but then it's also a lot of neutrals in there, so it really kind of blends into the background. I think it's really great for fall. And then we also released our Halloween colorway for this kit. So really fun, spooky Halloween fabrics from Riley Blake. You get about a little more than half of a charm pack, so 5-inch squares, of the fabrics. And then you also get your background fabric. You see how it's like a grayish, taupish kind of a color. And these are for your background blocks, all right? So as you can see in my example, I'm a little ashamed to admit that I just willy-nilly pieced my blocks together, and I did not even consider the fabric direction of my background fabric. So you can see some of my lines are going horizontal, some of my lines are vertical. So something to think about if you are making your Halloween Pinnacle Table Runner. Maybe you want to pay attention to the fabric direction like I did not. But you know what? I still like how it turned out, so I'm not going to worry myself too much with that little detail. You know, we are our own worst critics, aren't we? So not only do you get all the fabrics that you need for the top of your table runner, but you also get this specialty ruler from the Crafty Gemini. It's a 5-inch ruler specifically made to create these pinnacle blocks that you see behind me. So you've got one with your background fabric as sort of the valleys, right? And one with your background fabric as the peaks. So you have these peaks and valleys of your Pinnacle Table Runner. Get it? All right, so you can arrange these in all kinds of different ways. It's all explained during the webcast. And I did my Floral Farmhouse version in a totally different layout than I did my Halloween version. So I was really just playing around so that I could kind of see what layout I liked the best. But you'll see at least 6 or 7 different layout possibilities during that webcast. So here you can see I placed all of my blocks just on my work surface and kind of just played around with them, moved them. I wanted to make sure I didn't have the same bright orange color right next to each other. I kind of varied where the black fabrics were, and I just played around with it on my table. And then when I had the layout that I wanted, I started sewing them together. All right. Then you can see after I had my top done, I layered it with my backing fabric. I just chose a plain black fabric for the backing, and then my batting, and then I put my table runner top over the top, and I secured all of those layers with a little bit of Sulky KK2000. This is our temporary spray adhesive that I absolutely love. I'm probably the biggest customer for KK2000. I'm always asking for more because I just use it for so many things. In the hoop projects, quilty projects, applique projects. I even will secure hems sometimes with KK2000. It depends on the fabric weight, but a lot of the times, even when I'm working with knit fabrics, I'll spray the hem, fold it up, and sew across because it's air-soluble spray adhesive. So over about 48 to 72 hours or so, the adhesive just dissipates into the air. So leaving no trace. It doesn't gum up the needle, none of that. So you can secure your hems with it, and then it's just going to dissipate, and then you have, you know, your flowy knit fabric back again. So it's great for so many things. But I digress. All right. So then I had to kind of decide on my quilting. During the webinar, or the webcast rather, I show you how to quilt with these heavyweight Filaine threads. Filaine is our 12-weight acrylic thread, and it has a fuzzy texture to it. So when you use it for big stitch quilting, which is what's featured on this table runner, it has kind of a vintagey quality to it. And I really particularly love this look for like a Halloween or a spooky kind of vibe that you're trying to create with your fun Halloween fabrics. because you have the wisps, off of that thread. And you can kind of brush it up or rub it a little bit with your hands and it'll bloom the thread even more. So then you get kind of these wispy sort of special effects on your table runner as well. So I think it's a really great choice for this. And it's really heavyweight, so you can really see the quilting pop off of the surface. So this is the Trick or Treat Filane 6-pack. And all of these threads coordinate perfectly with the fabrics in this kit. So I chose to do big stitch quilting by hand. But first, I'm going to make this larger so you can see it. First, what I did, this is kind of a cheat, really. I stitched inside of all my little center diamonds that were created when I pieced my quilt top. I used the 50 weight cotton thread that came with the kit that I used for the piecing, and I quilted inside of those diamonds. So what I was going to do was I was going to leave that quilting in, and then I was going to do the big stitch quilting on the outside of the diamonds. So I would have this lighter weight quilting on the inside and then my big stitch quilting on the outside. But I did one diamond like that and I just didn't like how it was looking. For whatever reason, it just didn't jive with me. So instead, I decided to add my big stitch quilting right along the lines of quilting that I did in that lightweight 50 weight thread. And you know what? It was so easy to keep my stitches the exact same length and keep them along a straight line. Because what I did was I took a stitch every 2 stitches that I did in the quilting, or that I did by machine. And as a result, my big stitch quilting looks absolutely perfectly spaced and totally straight, which I would have never done on my own. So I thought that was a good tip to share because that 50 weight cotton thread really just blends into the background fabric. You can barely even see it unless you're looking super close at that table runner. So I just used that as my line or as my, plotting for the big stitch quilting. And I thought it was a kind of a cool idea. So I thought I would share that with you. So all I did was I swapped between all 6 thread colors for each of the diamonds for my big stitch quilting along the center of the table runner. I didn't add any quilting to those outside diamonds. I just left it all down the center. Then when my quilting was complete, I squared up the table runner and I just added some binding using that plain black fabric that I had purchased. And just like that, it was finished and hanging up on the wall behind me. So I'm so glad that I got it finished. It really goes together rather quickly because you can chain piece the blocks and you get in the zone, and it's really fun to work with these great Halloween fabrics. All right. Jana says, is this same fabric like the one we could get for Pinnacle pattern? Let's see. I don't really know what you're talking about. We have both kits available, if that's what you mean. We have the Floral Farmhouse Pinnacle Table Runner kit and the Halloween Pinnacle Table Runner kit. So you can choose from either one of these kits to create the table runner of your choice. And I don't know if I'm answering your question, so let me know if that answers your question. All right, Chris says, love this as I got Halloween fabric to make placemats. I watched the class and got both size rulers. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. So with this kit, you get the 5-inch ruler that works with a charm pack, totally sized perfectly for that. There's also a 10-inch ruler if you like to work with layer cakes, which are 10-inch fabric squares. So if you grab up a layer cake, you can create this same look using these same style of blocks with the peaks and the valleys, but in the 10-inch size. So if you want to create a larger quilt or maybe just a different sized table runner, you can use those larger fabric squares and grab up the 10-inch ruler at sulky.com and have a lot of fun with creating a little bit larger scale blocks. All right, so thanks for mentioning that. Okay, so let's get to our Halloween potions. Y'all might remember the Halloween Potions Machine Embroidery Collection, which this is our freebie today for somebody who's watching, liking our Facebook page if you're watching there, subscribing to our YouTube channel if you're watching there, and somehow engaging with the posts. Drop me a line in the chat or the live comments. Give me an emoji of some kind. I'll even take the little sad faces if that's what you're feeling like today. Oh, did I lose connection? Nope, I think we're still on. Great. So at any rate, that's all you have to do. Somehow engage with the post, and you will be automatically eligible to win our Halloween Potions Machine Embroidery Collection. It is also available as a palette. That means you get the collection, which are those 6 designs in 3 sizes, but you also get all the 10 thread spools that you need to create these freestanding patches. So that's why it's called a palette, and this is also available at sulky.com. To create these patches, I use Sulky Fabrisolve Stabilizer as my sort of base in the hoop. I also use that Twilly fabric that I showed you at the beginning of today's episode. Twilly is this twill fabric that has a bit of stabilizer already attached to it, and it comes in a specialty pack specifically for the Halloween Potions palette. So you can grab that up and have your great patch background to make these really quickly and easily. All right, so what I did was I created these freestanding patches in the hoop, made a bunch of them in one hooping, and I created this fun wreath for my front door. So I grabbed up this wreath. It's just a basic vine wreath. It was at my local Joann Fabrics. I went to the checkout, and as usual, most of the things I was buying were on sale. So I could not use a coupon. You know how it goes. However, she rings up this wreath, and it's $3.99. What? I mean, seriously. And it's so perfect for this Halloween vibe because, you know, it's these vines that are all interwoven together. So it's really great for adding these little sprigs of things that I then found in the floral department. Adding our little freestanding patches to give it a little bit of personality. And I think it's really cute, and I love the way that it turned out. So check out your local Joann's, maybe Michael's, Hobby Lobby, some kind of craft store, and you might be able to get a wreath to use as your blank for a really affordable price. I mean, I was shocked that this was like under $5. And, you know, a good size wreath too. And what's also cool, I glued nothing to this. All I did was stick these little elements into and through the vines. So if I want to reuse this for the holidays, I can take these elements out and have my wreath blank and put some other stuff in it for the holiday season, for Thanksgiving, you name it. So I thought this was a really great type of wreath to use for a project like this. So I've got all of my patches loaded into my embroidery machine. If you have one of those mega hoops, you can do a lot of these patches in one hooping. I just, you know, don't color sort or anything like that. They're still going to stitch out individually in the hoop, but you won't have to go re-hooping your stabilizer. And you can save a little bit on your Fabrisolve stabilizer because you're using one sheet for one mega hoop instead of all these individual hoopings, right? So I put every single patch on here, and actually I used the 4x4 patch size for the wreath, so I was able to stitch out quite a bit of them in like 1 or 2 hoopings. So here I have my mega hoop on the machine, my piece of Fabrisolve is on there, and I'm going to start creating my patches in the hoop. So the first step is going to be that placement stitch outline. Making a patch in the hoop is a lot like doing an in the hoop applique. It's just we don't have a base fabric that we're working on. we're sewing it onto the stabilizer, and then we're going to wash away the stabilizer when we're done. So here are all my placement lines stitched out. So in order to do this kind of assembly line style without color sorting, I start with the first design that I've imported and I do color stop 1. Then I advance to the second design and I do color stop 1, and so forth. So that way you can do all the elements at the same time without color sorting and compromising all the different steps that you need. Because step 1 is placement stitch, step 2 is tacking stitch, and if you color sort, it might not stop the machine throughout all of those steps. So you'll miss the chance to add your twilly and trim it and all of those things when you color sort. So that's why we don't want to do that for an in the hoop applique or patch design. All right, so after those placement stitches, then we're going to place our twilly. I did these one at a time because my patches are kind of close together and I didn't want my twilly fabric to kind of overlap or intersect. So one at a time, place my twilly and do the tacking stitch. Then I remove the hoop for the machine, or you might have a function on your machine screen that says trim position. That will move the hoop closer to you without having to take it off. And then you can trim really close to those tacking stitches. There's the tacking stitch. You can trim really close to those stitches using your applique scissors. I highly suggest using a duckbill applique scissor when you're doing in the hoop applique, because you can get really close to those stitches without accidentally slicing through them. All right, and the twilly is a pretty heavy weight, so you do want to make sure your scissors are nice and sharp. All right, so now I've got all of my patches with the background fabric tacked to the Fabri-Solvi, and then you just run through all of the other elements of the design to add your decorative stitches, your outer satin stitches, and then when your patches are complete, you'll remove the Fabri-Solvi from the hoop, trim it away, leave yourself a little bit of a border so you don't get too close to those satin stitches. And then here we've got goblin goo. Then we're ready to remove the stabilizer. So we're going to go under warm running water and run the water off of the project instead of letting it sit in a pool of water. It's much sort of better to have the water running off of the threads instead of kind of pooling over it, just as a general rule of thumb. Once your stabilizer is removed from the back of the twilly and around that satin stitch edging, then you just want to lay all of your patches flat on a nice absorbent towel until they're dry. You can just let them sit dry overnight, and then they will be good to go to make into other things, to add to totes, to make into all sorts of things. Or you can use them as is and add them to this wreath project. So I've got all my little 4x4 patches that I stitched out, my wreath, and then all of these great kind of spooky things that I found in the floral department to add to my wreath. And I just really kind of went crazy, just started tucking things in. I got some black eucalyptus, these really great clusters of flowers, and then some things that they had little velvet pumpkins in them. So I just started tucking it in and kind of, encouraging the eucalyptus to follow the edge of the wreath, tucking in the ends here and there, varying the heights of them. And the great thing is, again, you're not gluing anything. Nothing's really permanent. You're just kind of weaving it in to this grapevine wreath. So you can easily take something out. I like to really go big and add a bunch of stuff. And then I kind of look at it and I can edit myself, take things out. So it's just kind of that rule of thumb with decorating in general, where you go big and then you always want to remove at least one thing. So it's not like overkill, right? So these little velvet pumpkins were on some of these little sparkly floral elements, and they had gold vines on them or gold stems on them. And I just couldn't resist. Of course, I had to buy those as well and add them to the wreath. And then I just found all kinds of odds and ends. And honestly, with, if you have a Hobby Lobby near you, the floral arrangement area is huge. If you have a Joann Fabrics near you, even sometimes you can find these things at Walmart or Target, depending on, what you're looking for. But I found this great, just bare, black, frond. It looked so spooky. So I added that to one end, and I just wove some of those branches into the vines. And I thought that gave it kind of a spooky look. And then when I was done with all of that, I just started tucking in my little freestanding patches. And I thought it was so cute. Zombie zits. I mean, why not, right? Goblin goo. And the little 4x4 size was perfect for this because it didn't really overwhelm the wreath. So I added all of them, and then I started editing and taking away. And then this is what I came up with. Here it is on my front door. Everything's kind of tucked in there. And I just love how it turned out. I think it's a really cute way to display these little patches. And again, they're not permanent on the wreath. So after maybe you use it this way for this season, you can take them out, and then next season you can use them in a different way. Actually, last year I made the larger scale patches, and I made a little s'mores area. My kids were having a little bit of a sleepover / Halloween party with a couple of their friends, and we made a little s'mores bar. And so I found these inexpensive vases. I think they were like at ARC for like 3 for $5 or something like that. You never know what you're going to find at the thrift store. And they had a little spooky vibe to them. And so I made a little s'mores bar, and I just put double stick tape on the back of the patches and stuck them to the front of the vases and filled them with all the s'mores goodies. This would be really cute for a hot cocoa bar as well. All kinds of things. You could fill them with popcorn and little snacks for a movie night. So it's just kind of cute to label them and get into the spirit. I've also made these into little food labels for a buffet with the little 4-inch size. There's one that says witch wine, and I use double-sided tape, and I put those on wine bottles and even apple cider bottles for the kids, and they really get a kick out of that. So there's a lot of different ways you can use these patch designs, and they're really fun to make. And it's a really great way or reason, really, to try out that sulky twilly, see how you like it. It's perfect for patches. It really, really is. So I think you'll have a good time with it. All right, Kathy says s'mores bar is a really cute idea. Love it. Love the s'mores containers. Like to get creative, like to get into the spirit. Ooh, black tulle would look pretty on the wreath. Absolutely. You could even wrap it with black tulle and then kind of tuck other things in there. Love that idea. It's been a long time actually since I hung a wreath on my front door, but I really had a fun time making it. So, and it was not that, time consuming, honestly. I mean, the patches do take a long time to stitch out, but you can get them started, have them working in your sewing room, and then go cut out your table runner on the other table, kind of multitask. As long as you're in the same room as your stitch out and you can check on it and swap out your threads, then, you can really multitask when you're doing a long stitch out like that. I mean, making the actual wreath, aside from the patches, was so quick and easy. And really fun. And you can get the kids involved. If you've got grandkids, niece and nephew, or your own kids, get them involved. Have them pick out their favorite little spooky, flower or something like that in the floral department. And then everybody can contribute to the cute little wreath that you put on the front door. It's just kind of a fun activity to do at the same time. All right. Good idea for the individual steps. Thank you. Oh, great idea from Joan. She says, what product would you use if you want to iron on the patch? Okay, great question. So if you want to make these patches fusible, what I would do is apply Sulky Perfect Applique Fusible Web after your patch is created and dried. All right. So once you get to this step of having them dry flat on your towel, which of course I can't find now. Is this it? Drying flat on your towel. You can see how wet and saturated these ones are. Once they're all dried, cut out a piece of fusible web that fits the patch and fuse it to the wrong side of the twilly. Peel away your paper backing, and then you're going to fuse it to your project or your tote bag or whatever. But here's where it gets tricky. These have thread on the background. It's not just twilly that you're seeing behind the motif. You're seeing thread as well. We don't want to put our hot iron right on the top of all this beautiful thread. We could flatten it. Your sheen could be gone. You could compromise your beautiful thread work. So what you really want to do when you're fusing it to the item is fuse it from the item wrong side, okay? That's what's going to help the heat penetrate through those fabric layers without harming the thread underneath, okay? So that becomes a little bit more difficult to do because you kind of can't see what you're doing when you're fusing it from the project wrong side. So you want to get it in place where you want it, carefully turn over your item and fuse it from that side. Is that making sense? Then you can secure it a little bit further with some sulky invisible thread, or you can choose one of the threads that's in your machine embroidery palette for this collection. Choose the thread that's used for those outer satin stitches, and you can just zigzag over them so that it blends into those satin stitches. Follow that outline, and you will have sewn your patch on to another piece of fabric. So I hope that all makes sense. That's my recommendation if you want to fuse them. All right. Perfect. And yes, using perfect applique is way better than painting on a product that might have chemicals on there and all kinds of things. All right. The witch wine patch would be great on a wine caddy. Definitely. If you ever, do any of you have the, I've been booed? Maybe you boo your neighbors or you boo your coworkers. It's kind of a thing that happens around this time of year. And you can find, printable, I've booed you type of sheets. And what that means is when you boo someone, it's kind of like a Mayday basket, but for Halloween. So you fill a little basket, or maybe you make a wreath, or maybe you have a little plant or something like that. Put some candy in there, or maybe find some cute little Halloween dishes with some popcorn and popcorn seasoning or something like that with it. Maybe a little patch that goes with it that says, goblin goo. You get the idea. You put it on your neighbor's or your coworker's desk or front door, and you ding dong ditch them. You open the door and they get a paper that says, I've been booed. So the whole point is that you're spreading the spooky spirit of Halloween, gifting your neighbors or your coworkers or friends with a little Halloween themed goodie. And, they have no idea where it came from. If it's you, they probably know it's you because you're super crafty, but you get the idea. And then the whole idea or the spirit of it is that then they go and boo someone else. So they've been booed, and now the whole idea is to pass it on to somebody else on your street or another coworker. You get the idea. So that would be a really fun, way to boo someone is with a great bottle of wine or, a set of movie theater popcorns and candies. Maybe, a movie ticket in there, wrap it up, boo them, put your goblin goo or your witch wine patch there with it for a little handmade touch. So that's a cute little idea. And yes, Maureen, you can temporarily adhere your patch. You could even try using that KK2000, spray it on the wrong side of the patch, stick it down to the fabric, and then go ahead and sew around it. And that's going to give you a temporary bond. Now, the patch is going to be pretty heavyweight because we're working with that twilly background, all that thread work, right? So it's got some weight to it. So if you're going to put that on a lightweight tote bag, for example, your glue or your temporary adhesive might not work as well, but it will give you a little bit of tackiness. so that you can at least get it over to your machine, have it where you want it, and sew around it for a more permanent hold. All right, perfect. Oh, and yes, Barb, will the fusible work if you spray KK2000 first? It will still work. It will still work. I've definitely done that before with applique projects. Used a little KK2000 just so that I could get my way over to the ironing board with it without it shifting. And the fusible still maintains its integrity. So great. All right, well, thanks everybody for your suggestions and help. Oh, Linda says, please tell us where you got the hanging bar on your wall. Great question. All right, it's actually from IKEA, and guess what? It's a knife block. It's a magnetic knife block. There's actually 4 of them that I just abutted the ends to put across my wall. And then you can get little magnet clips or anything that's really a strong magnet. Put it on there and you can hang stuff up. It's so easy. So it's a great solution for, I get to swap something out all the time whenever I want without harming my walls every single time. So that's what I used. It's not used in the way it was intended at all. All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, everyone. Grab up those mystery boxes, add that to your cart. If you're looking to get to that $60 free shipping threshold, why not add your ultimate phone case kit to your cart as well? Because you know you're going to want to join us when this session activates on October 15th. I also want to let everybody know that I am on my way to Bali on Friday. That's right. I'm so excited. I've been talking about this trip forever, it feels like. And I feel like somebody said in the beginning here that they were joining me. I'm trying to find that comment. So if it was you, put your comment in again, because I know I did not address it in the beginning of today's show. Oh, here we go. This is Judy. Looking forward to meeting you on our way to Bali. Do you know how many of us are going? I do know how many of us will be there. I like to keep these things a little bit of a surprise, but there will be 14 of us going to Bali. I'm so excited to meet you as well. And I will see you in LA. It's going to be very late when we see each other in Bali, but I can't wait to tell you guys all about this amazing trip that we have planned. It's absolutely incredible. I'm in the middle of juggling all the kid carpools and figuring out who needs to go where, when, how, in my absence, all those good things. So I can't wait to come back and tell you all about it. And if you are interested in heading out on a craft tours trip with us, our next trip is India in March. And we're going to I did put the link to our Sulky Craft Tours page. That link is in the description of today's post. And the link for everything I was talking about today is also in the description of today's post. So if you're looking to find any of these machine embroidery designs or products that I talked about today, click on that See More button or the More button, and the whole description will pop out. You'll find links for everything that I talked about today. And you will also find a link to our Craft Tours Sulky page, and you'll find out all about our India tour that's happening in March. We're going to be focusing on embroidery, all things embellishment. That's going to just be a spectacular tour as well. And then in May, we are going to Greece. And in November, we are headed back to Austria and Germany for the Christmas markets. And we will also tour Sulky HQ, so you can see where Sulky is made and manufactured. It's a great, great tour and a wonderful time. So check out all those tours using the link in the description of today's post. And I hope you can join us on a future tour, because after I come back from Bali with all these pictures and stories and everything, you're going to wish that you had signed up. I'll tell you that. All right. And I know it's not in the cards for everybody, but they do have payment plans at Craft Tours. So if you have some bucket list places that you want to go, why not come with like-minded people who love to sew and quilt and create and meet new friends? especially if you're a solo traveler. Maybe you want to go to these places, but you're nervous to go alone or you don't have a partner to travel with. You can come on and travel with us, and we're friends forever. It's just there's no other way to really say it. Some of the people that I've met on these tours, I still have a texting relationship with. I see them here on So What every so often. It just warms my heart. We send Christmas cards to each other. I mean, it's really, a great bonding experience, and you make really, really great friends. Aside from just seeing the sights and visiting these amazing places, and getting tons of inspiration for your sewing and quilting and crafting creations. So it's really, really just a fantastic opportunity. All right. Sharon says, pack your suitcase so you can bring back lots in a larger suitcase. Great tips. I know. I'm going to have some boutique shopping to do. We'll say that. All right. Well, thanks, Anna. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to sign up for the Ultimate Phone Case. And I will see you when I return from Bali, and